Hello guys and welcome to Geopolitical Simulator 4 Power and Revolution 2019 edition. This is probably the most complicated and in-depth simulator on economy and politics and etc. while all still being a game that I've seen in my entire life. I've played the second and third entries into this series in the past. I played a little bit of this one, mainly as the USA, and after watching some YouTubers, namely Sabouts, who makes a bunch of videos on this stuff, I thought it would be a lot of fun to make some of my own. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. In case you don't know what this is going to be like, essentially we're going to be running a nation as the head of state, and we're going to be making laws, going to wars, taxes, just a bunch of fun stuff, basically. For my first series on this game, I've decided to make it a Brazil playthrough rather than USA, namely because USA just starts out so powerful and with so much. I wanted my first one to be a challenge that could help me learn more about the game, because I am relatively new to this one, so if you have any advice to give me that you see on the screen, feel free to let me know. And where we could also pick a goal to strive towards to keep the series moving. So I have a couple of goals for our playthrough here as Brazil. As you see, we're the head of state, some made-up name, João Nilsobaro, who's, he's 63, so he doesn't have much longer left. We can actually die in this game, and usually when you die, the game is over right then and there. I do have the God and Spy DLC, which makes it so that if I do die, I can potentially continue the series as the next head of state. That is up to you guys. Or I could use some finicky health stuff here and boost his health up to like 100 so that hopefully he never dies. But that's something I'll leave up to you guys. For the life of this leader, or maybe just for the entirety of the playthrough, my goal is as follows. We want to, number one, develop Brazil into a more modern nation. As you can see, we have no major highway systems at all. We got a couple ports and airports, but we don't really have anything in terms of highways. Let's check over here. Yeah, we got some secondary highways, which I believe is just kind of placed wherever they're needed based on how many miles you've made. Not really realistic, but useful. Main highways, though, we have nothing. And just to show you, it would actually draw a line of highway for you to see. And these are really good for commerce and industry and tourism even. And we're going to get yelled at a lot about that as we get going. Compared to a place like the US, which has the most developed highway system in the entire fucking world. Just take a look at all these green lines. Or compared to somewhere like Europe, which has not only a bunch of highways, but a bunch of, this symbol right here is high-speed trains interconnecting every country in the fucking continent. We are very underdeveloped, not to mention, let me see if I remember where to find it. Media, construction. We are very poorly developed. Only 3% of the country has super high-speed fiber optic internet, which is, what is this? Is this gigabit? I think this is gigabit. I don't know. Broadband internet, which I'm sure most of us are familiar with, especially people that live in rural areas, I guess. And mobile 4G internet. We actually have more mobile 4G than broadband internet. I always find that hilarious. But at least we all have phones, right? We're going to want to construct more of this stuff as part of getting on course. We have a terrible, terrible inflation rate of nearly 12%. An inflation rate of 3.63% that will need to be improved. Now, realistically, an inflation rate of 3% is not the worst thing in the world. In case you don't know what inflation rate is, it's kind of like the price of goods and services going up every year, thus the value of your money being lessened over the year. Like, remember how when you were a kid, buying a 5-pack of gum was like 10 cents, 15 cents, and now it's like 50 cents? It's kind of like that. Our economic growth could use some work, and to that purpose, actually, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call a meeting request here with Ronald Trump, the President of the United States of America. Also, as you'll notice, there's no music playing. That's because this game has a couple copyrighted songs in which you can't get around it. You can't get permission to use it and monetize your videos, and I'm not going to try to fight with them for it. So this will be no music playthroughs, unfortunately. But the reason why we're going to them is, as Brazil, we are a relatively well-off exporting nation. We have a lot of goods of which we produce a lot of, especially in terms of raw materials. And one thing in particular that we have an excessive amount of right here is iron. Let's compare it. Production in percentage of the world's production. We have the third largest amount of production of iron in the entire world. We're positive on a lot of other things, but this is a really good first step for making a deal. As you see, we sell it on average, standardly, for only 121 US dollars per tons. But the US purchases it the second highest price out of everybody. Australia has the highest price, but they make more than they need at the same time. They purchase it at $214, which is almost $100 more than us. It's not the most insane profit in the world, but there's so much of it, and I feel like it could give us a moderate boost to our growth while keeping everything sort of maintained for the time being. So I'm going to go to try to sell some iron to the USA. Let's take a look at some other stuff we can work on. For the record, as this series goes on, I do want you guys to help me out here. I want you to give me advice, what you think I should do, what you want me to do. Let's take a look. We are running a budget deficit. For the year, we are planning to spend $848 billion, but we're only planning to make $123 billion, which means we're about $15 billion short. And a big portion of that is the fact that so many of our people are unemployed and they're not giving us money as a result, but we're giving them money while they search for a job. So we gotta get that fixed somehow. And for the record, I have not really tested this playthrough. I have no idea how we're going to do it. I'm just going to be trying things and hoping for the best. I want this to be as genuine as possible. So as we see, the biggest drain on our money is Social Security. Of course, why wouldn't it be? And that is so hard to take away from people. Like, people will kill you if you try taking away their Social Security. Health itself is only down here at 2.1%. That doesn't sound right. That can't be right. There's got to be some health things that are included in Social Security. Otherwise, I don't understand this. Education itself is 24% of our budget. Debt reimbursement. Now, this is and then everything else is minuscule after that. Debt reimbursement, 16.6%. That is not good. Let's take a look at our debt. Most of it is intergovernment or intranational. We are borrowing most of it from ourselves. $1.4 trillion. 1.420. Great. We got loans from other countries: France, US, Japan, UK, India, United Arab Emirates. We have terrible rates on our loans. We plan on taking more. We got to get this deficit into a budget surplus. Otherwise, that shit's really gonna bite us in the ass. We got double B ratings from everyone. Budget deficit 20. What the hell? Oh, it's actually a budget deficit of $25 billion. This was a little misleading. This is like the yearly forecast, not the current situation. The current situation is almost $25 million in budget deficit. That's no good. If we want to, this debt is huge. It's almost 100% of our GDP, almost 90%. And we can see the total here. It's over $1.5 trillion. And seeing as our current income right now isn't even $1 trillion in a year, we can only hope to get this to a surplus, not really hope to pay it off immediately without super oppressing our citizens. Our key interest rate starts out at 7.50. That's really strong, and I plan on lowering that, maybe bit by bit, because as it stands, it is actually, well, it's not showing it here yet, but I did check one or two things before starting this, and it's actually going to quickly rise the value of our dollar, or whatever our currency is, compared to the US dollar, the euro, and other currencies throughout the world. And that is actually going to harm our ability to export goods. And it's going to quickly turn us into a nation that needs to import for maximum profits. And I don't necessarily want that. I don't mind it going up a little, but I don't want to have it skyrocketing, because we have one of the, well, it's not one of the highest rates in the world. Look at Argentina. Oh my god, 27.8%? The game doesn't even let me go that high. That's cheating. It costs money. Another reason to lower it, we can save money and boost economic growth, get more jobs, but it does risk increasing inflation. But so long as we don't go crazy with the economy, we should be fine. Let's take a look at taxation here. We have, income taxes are not that bad. Value added tax, that's why, because we're letting people keep more of their money from their paycheck so that we can get it from them on the way to the cash register. Why 15.94%? Why not make it a flat 16%? Tax on large fortunes and oh my god, we have everything. We have everything. Donations from other countries. Yeah, we're a country that actually receives development aid because of how underdeveloped we are, but we don't receive that much. 659 million a year. That's garbage. I wish there was a way to talk to another country and have them give us more money. Why does this sound kind of loud? Hang on. I don't know. There's not many more taxes we can make. I mean, we have just about everything. Tax investigation is on regular and repressive. People won't like that. No exoneration, no exoneration. We have exonerations for war veterans. People will like that. Tax amnesty, no. So we have so many taxes already. I don't think we're going to be able to get more money out of taxes without hurting the economy. So we have to boost the economy first. Some people I know will probably tell me to raise this because at some point it makes a fuck ton of money. And when you go up to like here, look at this money. This is insane. This would solve all of our problems immediately. This tax is actually broken. I've tested this in several different countries. When you get high enough in this tax, your government and your people 100% love it with no consequences. It will barely affect your economy. However, it actually causes the prices of everything to skyrocket into oblivion, completely negating the point of the tax. It's a bug, and if you don't believe me, let me know and I'll show you. I'll show you that this happens. For the record, in case you're not aware, the Geopolitical Simulator series is a very, very buggy game. We got a lot of things I want to do right out of the gate. So, we got a bunch of industries that aren't even doing anything right now. So, I'm going to make a bill or reform, and we're going to change some things here. Regarding industries that we're not doing anything with. So, sector with state involvement. I essentially want to reserve the shares of all the things that that aren't running, so that when we do get them running, we can profit more off them while keeping them under control so they don't explode and cause a bunch of inflation or plummet and cause a bunch of unemployment. So we're going to make a new reform here. People may or may not like it. We'll see how it goes. We're going to name it the Government Loves You Reform. And we're going to create the reform. Making video games, tire industry, the Government Loves You reform. Basically, anything that has an X right here, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to add this to the reform. The idea is, I'm going to end up subsidizing all of these things and seeing if we can get them off the ground. If it works, yay. If it doesn't, then we're actually going to end up nationalizing them, forcing workforce into them, and then subsidizing them, and then unnationalizing them, so that just to give them the kickstart we need, so we can be producing a little bit of everything, because I don't want to be reliant on other countries for everything. All right, so state involvement. Get that. And now here we have railway construction, which is actually nationalized. And I don't want that. I don't want this to be nationalized. I don't want to be a socialist, communist, whatever. I don't want this. And plus we can get some money back from selling the majority of these shares and not have to worry about upkeeping it. We'll lose some income, but that might be made up for with not having to pay the expenses ourselves. We're going to add this to the Government Loves You reform. What's next? The other surface ships, yes. We're going to get a lot of these military production off the ground so we can boost our military. Nuclear submarines. I don't know why I started at the bottom and not the top. Because the top works a lot better for this. Missile launch. Government loves you. You know, in the government, there's actually a sector completely dedicated to making reform names that would make you feel like an asshole if you didn't like Save the Children Act, but it actually raises the taxes on the poor by like 300%. But why would you vote against it? It's the Save the Children's Act. I mean, jeez, fighter planes, conventional submarines. We have a lot of things that need to be picked up off the ground. Biotechnology. We're not making biotechnology. That's something that more developed countries tend to make. But we're going to get it off the ground. And aircraft carrier. Alright. That's industry. Now let's check services. Advertising. We don't have any advertising. We import all of our advertising. Great. Lottery and bets are nationalized. We're going to denationalize that. I really hope this will pass. We'll try to shake some coins. Postal service. Come on, I want UPS to take over. Government loves you, so we're denationalizing some stuff. The rest of this we actually have a lot of shares in. It's interesting. That's services, energy. Oh my god. Okay. We're going to have to fix all this. We're going to denationalize a lot of this. This should free up a lot of instantaneous money, which should fix our budget deficit at least for the year, if not for, you know, a longer period of time by preventing us from taking out more debt, I guess. I don't know, let's add it to the reform. Uranium. Also, we're going to have to figure out here, we have a import-export balance, negative. That means we're importing electricity, I think. Even though it says we're producing more than we're consuming? I don't understand that. Maybe someone can explain it to me. But we're going to need more electricity. I'm going to probably go the route of wind power, at least to start. I'll let you guys decide what you think about that. Maybe you don't want me to do that. A lot of people like nuclear, but the reason I like wind and solar is they're just so cheap and built in bulk. They can produce a lot of power and they don't take any resources coming in, which is good considering, let's say we tried to go nuclear. Let's check uranium. We don't produce nearly as much as we use already, and we only have one nuclear plant. I know, I checked. Oh, not this. Government loves you. Hydraulic electricity. Government loves you. We love you. That was a big, oh my god, that was a huge budget economy. What? Oh wait, I'm looking at this anyway. We have a lot of hydropower. We rely almost entirely on hydropower. That's interesting. Hydropower is not that bad. I mean, per hydroelectricity thing you make, it doesn't produce the most, and the cost really starts to add up. So for 3 annual production of terawatt hours is $640 million a year for 5 years or some shit. Compare that to solar, wind. I know solar, you can get technology that gets it up to 3. A lot cheaper. Onshore, no, not well, yeah. Onshore, a lot cheaper. And offshore, still cheaper. So, nuclear is a different story. Oh, we don't actually, so there's a 3G nuclear thing, but we don't have the tech. It's basically just nuclear, but better. It costs the same, but gives you more. But that takes uranium, and I don't want us to be dependent on that. Let's... nationalization. The government loves you. We fucking love you. Believe it. Oh, no, don't exonerate. I'm hitting the wrong buttons here. Alright, bam. Did we get this one? No. So much money is going to be freed up by this. So much money. In the short term, anyway. So far, it looks like it's going well. It looks like it's going to pass. I might still talk to some guys to make sure it happens. The deficit is getting worse. I think that's a lie. Remember, this is the yearly forecast. This could be lying to me. Oh, it's projecting the lack of income from the nationalization, but that's fine. That'll correct itself. Farming. Sugar beet. That's it. All right. We're much better off on farming. The only other thing we don't have is opium, but we can't make that anyway. I'm very glad we don't have opium. I'm not happy to see that we're consuming over 2% of the world's consumption of opium. Cannabis. So we can actually grow weed and tax it if we legalize it. Not cocaine. Cocaine's just here to ruin our lives forever. Alright, so we got that out of the way. We got our meeting with Ronald Trump set up. I'm going to be doing a lot of polling to see what people think, and our party isn't so well liked. We're also not the biggest party. No, we are. There's a lot of parties. Mixed and unlimited funding. I don't know what this means. Like, I know what this means in real life, but I don't know what this means. Does this mean that I can just throw government funding into my own party during election cycles? I don't know. I'm not sure. But where was the thing I was looking for? Legality, parties. No. Okay, no, I'm looking something under here. There is... Oh, look at all these. Majority. Really? So the majority is what determines what's in Parliament, but the Parliament is this split up? I feel like that's a historical thing. The next election cycle we have, 2022. That's going to suck. Because we want our party to get a lot of power. And we want the Communist Party not to get a lot of power, because they're the opposite of our party. We already have the use of referendums. Brazil's a pretty free country to start. Anyway, we're going to need more money for our party, so we're going to have to go... They don't like us. I'll still meet with them anyway. See if they'll give me money, or at least they might like talking to me. Set up some meetings here, and we're going to need to find someone that does like us to speak up highly about us. So maybe artists? He's not very popular. Oldest person in the country. We need someone that likes us, that is actually popular. Why does nobody like me? I just took power. Maybe that's why. Hermione. Yeah, alright, you're not from Harry Potter. That's, yeah. I love how they actually named her Hermione. Athletes. Why does nobody like us? Is it because I just started the game? Intellectuals. No, this probably won't help. We're going to try the oldest person in the country. Or no, maybe. If I go to associations over here, fight against AIDS, no. Yeah, nobody likes me because it's just the start of the game. That's a damn shame, but I bet I can fix that. So, for example, oh god, women hate me. Actually, this isn't women. This is feminists. It's funny, the feminist groups in this game, the things they want from you, actually a lot of the time, hurt human rights if you give it to them. It's funny. The AIDS guys have a lot of people. Anti-racism. How are we racist? I don't get it. Family. Alright, well, we're going to have to find a way to make people like us. I bet I can make those AIDS people like us. Let's take away some hospital treatment. That's 11 billion in economy. These three you can get rid of like 1 star a week and be kind of fine. And boost AIDS and cancer and prevention and vaccination. And confirm. We might take a little bit of a hit for getting rid of health funding as a whole, but the AIDS people will like us, and we can hopefully make up for it there. Anything else that I want to do at the start of the game here? I don't think so. We're not giving any money here. I'm tempted to legislate non-conventional gas and oil. As it stands, our situation is a little weird. We actually have 2 oil platforms. Where is it? right over here, and they produce a lot. I can't tell what they're built on. When I try to look for oil in this region, it just says weak. So I don't know if that would create more or less than this. I mean, this is quite a lot, and I'd like to make more. But from what I did looking around, we don't seem to have any oil reserves around here. And I think there's a way to check that, actually. Let's go to oil. Volume per year, no. No, okay, I thought there was a way to check oil reserves. Maybe not. I guess not. This is a good time to check. Do we have any embargoes on anyone? I know it's playing as the US, you start out with embargoes on people. We have we have embargoes, alright. Why do we have embargoes on these people? That could hurt our exporting. So, Central African Republic. We have no reason to have an embargo on these people. They've done nothing to us. We are going to export things to them. We're going to check our embargoes on the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I mean, yeah, they don't hate us. So we'll export to them. I want money. Right? Don't you want money? I want money. Who else? Iran and Iraq. Okay. Iran doesn't like us. Iraq doesn't like us. But that doesn't mean... Well, I mean, Iran's kind of scary. But Iraq... Iraq, let's be buds. I will lift this. I believe you are good people. Maybe someone in the comments is going to hate me for doing this, but Libya. Libya's a hellhole in this game. They have 3 terrorist wars going on at once and they're losing, but I'm going to export to them anyway, because I don't believe they're going to do anything wrong. Not to us, anyway. I'm noticing I actually forgot to finish explaining my goals for the playthrough. So not only do I want to develop Brazil as a modern country, but I do want to take over all of South America, unify it under one integrated Brazilian nation, maybe call it New America, and then maybe even work our way up Central America into North America and make as one of my final, I don't know, biggest goals, taking down the US and being the true American superpower here. But we'll see about that. Let's do a bit of looking around here. Any more of these we can... North Korea! I think I'm going to leave that there. I think some people might hate me if I don't leave that there. Somalia! Where I'm going to export to Somalia. Because, why not? Sudan. How do you feel about me, Sudan? You hate my guts! Alright, well maybe I won't export to you. Maybe that's why you hate my guts. Yemen is a hellhole. I'm kind of afraid to export to them. We'll revisit this later. Let me just see if we have any others. Service embargoes? Probably not. No, for some reason, the only thing that ever starts out embargoed is, like, industries. Yeah, no farming. But there might be some arms embargoes, if we can even do that. Like, oh yeah, Yemen. What else? Sudan, I'll keep that. North Korea, I'll keep it. Lebanon, what's wrong with Lebanon? They don't hate us. I'm going to raise this menu's so confusing. Apply, raise, what is that? What's the difference? I think this is what I want. I'm going to raise that embargo. Okay, I don't know how that works then. I think I'm doing it right. I think it's just going to take a moment to show. Like, I got to unpause the game. And, Iran, Eritrea. Does Eritrea hate us? They don't hate us. Maybe they're just considered dangerous by the world. I don't know. I think that's all I'll mess with for now. That's a good 30 minutes, though. We haven't actually unpaused yet. We have our starting plans, and most if not all the things I'm going to do at the start here already in motion. So I think I'll actually end this episode here. Let me know what you guys think, what you think about the series, any advice you have going forward. I'm going to record a couple of these episodes in advance, so if you give me advice and I don't do it or acknowledge it in the next episode or two, that's why. But I will definitely acknowledge it as soon as I can, and I'll try to keep these videos coming as I can. If you want to see any other nations, let me know in the comments. And anything you want to see me do with Brazil. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And yeah, bye-bye.